Hello, image design students. This is Mrs. Brown. And in this recording, this video, I will be teaching you how to complete the Unit 14 project. In this project, you're going to be creating a planet and learning about various effects. So first things first, we are going to open GIMP. Once GIMP is open, we're going to be opening a new file, a blank canvas. And this time we're going to be opening, we want to make sure that the image size is 800 by 800, which is going to be a square. And you must have a square for this project. So we'll click File and then New. And we want this to be 800 in the width, and we want it to be 800 in the height. And we'll go ahead and click OK, and you'll notice that we have a square canvas here. We also need to open, let's first save this. We're going to File, Save As, navigate to your image design class, the Tech 30 course resource folder, Unit 14, and you're going to name this planet. You can see I already have one complete, so I'm actually going to name this planet 2. You name this planet, just regular old planet, and then click Save. All right, now we're also going to open from our Unit 14 folder one of these texture files, and this is going to be the surface of the planet that you create. So as you're looking through each of these 5 texture options, choose one that you would like to be the surface of your planet. All right, and we are ready to begin. So we're going to select the Pattern tab. Make sure you have the Pattern tab selected, not your blank canvas. And we're going to click File, Export As. And as I walk you through this, we're gonna walk you through this and see how it works. Here we're going to save the name and the image Planet Pattern. So we're going to name it Planet Pattern. We're going to go to our C drive, and we're going to go to our program files. And here we're going to go down to GIMP 2, then Share, GIMP 2.0, Patterns. And here you can see we have patterns. Now I'm going to check, okay, great. We're going to go down and select File Type by Extension, and here we're going to select GIMP Pattern, and then you'll click Export. Okay, oh, we don't want walnut. How did that change to walnut? Planet Pattern. And then click Export. In the description, you're going to again need to type Planet Pattern. This is important so that you're able to find it later. And then you're going to go ahead and export again. Okay, so this is a good learning opportunity. If this says cannot do this, permission denied, we're going to have to do this an alternate way. So I'll show you how to do that an alternate way. Some students have success with what I just showed you. Others do not. So if you do not, like I did not, we will follow some alternate directions. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cancel out. And to do the alternate directions, we're going to start the same way but where we save is going to be a little bit different. So we need to make sure that we still have this planet, the pattern image selected. And we're going to click File, Export As, and in the name field we want to type Planet Pattern, just as we did before. And here we're going to go to our C drive, and we're going to click Users instead. You'll then go ahead and select your username. Mine is L Brown. And then here you're going to double click GIMP 2.8. Then you're going to double click Patterns, and you are going to type So you can see I already have a planet pattern saved, so I'm actually going to need to save this as planet pattern 2. If this is your first time around, just save it as planet pattern. You'll then select file type by extension. We're going to go down to GIMP pattern, and we're going to click export. I'm going to name this planet pattern 2, and then click export. And boom, we're done. So now the last thing to make sure that it's saved is in the bottom right dock, we're going to select our Patterns tab. We're going to refresh all of these here, and then we're going to scroll until we find our planet pattern. Gotta scroll up and down to kind of find it. Might be on the top, and there we go. So we have planet pattern and planet pattern 2. I didn't realize from my first planet pattern that I actually had the exact same one, and that's okay. So we have your planet patterns now ready to use. So those are the alternate directions if the ones in the course did not work for you. All right. Once you know you have your planet patterns saved here to your Patterns tab, you can actually close this image. Okay, so now we're going to click Layer, New Layer, and we're going to name this layer Planet. We want to make sure the width and height are set to 800, that the layer fill type is transparency, and then you're going to click OK. Now in the bottom dock, you want to make sure the Patterns tab is selected. If you want to, if you can't see the names of the patterns, you're going to want to click the Configure This tab and then View as List so that you can read the names of the patterns. You're going to select the planet pattern, and then you're going to click the Edit menu, and then go down to where it says Fill with Pattern. And you can see our planet layer has been filled with the pattern. And now we're going to do something pretty fun. You're going to make sure the planet layer is still selected, and then you're going to click the Filters menu, and then click Map, and then over to Map Object. All right, so in this dialog box, you're going to click the Map drop-down list, and you're going to click Sphere. So we're going to literally be clicking we're going to be creating a sphere, planet-looking shape. You're going to make sure that transparent background has a check next to it. And you can see over here the preview what's happening. And make sure that Create New Image does not have a check next to it. You do not want to create a new image. If it does, you're going to remove that check. Click the Light tab right here. And in the light source drop down, you're going to click No Light. In the Orientation tab, you simply need to make sure that all of the planet is in the image window. Okay? So if it's not in the image window, you're going to need to change this to make sure that you can see the entire planet in your window. Now, under Position, in both the X and Y field, we want this set to 0.5. Now you can see mine is already set to 0.5. I'm not going to change it. If yours is different, make sure that it's set to 0.5. There are a lot of zeros added to the number, and that's okay. In the Z field, we want this to be set to 0. If this is not set to 0, do that, and then click OK. And what's going to happen is, when it's all done processing, you will have a spherized version of your pattern, which looks like a planet. So now you're going to use your Move tool from the toolbox, and you're going to move the pattern to the bottom right corner of the image window, like such. Let's go ahead and take a little save break to save what we have done. And we will move on. We are going to continue working with the planet layer. Make sure that planet layer is selected. And in the Colors menu, we're going to click Colorize. Here, you can drag the hue, saturation, and lightness sliders to change the planet's color. So you can change this to whatever you like. Whatever color you want your planet to be, go for it. Once you like how the planet looks, you're simply going to click OK. So now we're going to add an inner shadow. So you're going to make sure the planet layer is selected, and in the Script Foo menu, you're going to click Layer Effects and then Inner Shadow. Down here you can see my dialog box needs to be clicked, and we're going to change some of these settings. Okay. In this Inner Shadow dialog box, you want to make sure that the shadow color is set to black. You can see my color is set to black. If not, you're going to click the color button and change that to black. In the Offset Angle field, you want this set to 180. Which is all the way to the right. And the Offset Distance field, you want this to be 50. And this is what this does is the offset distance, it's going to control how off-center the inner shadow is. In the choke field, you're going to type 10. In the size field, whoops, I did that different. In the choke field, you're going to type 10. And in the size field, you're going to type 70. Let's change that to 70. Now let's move up a little bit. So in the opacity field, you want this to be somewhere between 85 and 100. I'm going to go with a good 92. Make sure that the blending mode drop-down list, so the blending mode drop-down list, you want this to be set to multiply. And those are the settings there. Okay, so if you need to pause and look and make them all look like this, you can. And then we're going to click OK. And this inner shadow is going to process, and you're going to see a shadow on your planet's surface. All right, so we're going to take a save break. Your planet should have a pattern applied to it. It should be spherized, so made into a circle, and has an inner shadow. you changed the color and you moved it to the bottom right-hand corner. So this is going to conclude part 1 of the Unit 14 project. You're going to need to go on into the part 2 video to continue working on your planet project.